This plant is common. That's all. Hi. Welcome to Gardening with Richard. I'm Richard. Today I want to teach you something that I just Googled, but will recite off the script in hopes that you'll think I'm a plant expert. A garden guru, if you will. Let's get started. Today we're going to talk about the Pachera glabella, as it's called by the experts like me, or crestleaf groundsel, as slightly more astute nurserymen may call it. And finally, the vulgar butterweed, as the absolute commoner would call it. If you've driven down any country road, urban fairway or by road, you've probably gazed upon fields adorned by canary beauties, or the lonesome stalk proudly standing in the cravats of broken inner city sidewalks. This magnificent plant knows no boundaries. Now, this plant is often confused as other plants. First, the common groundsel, or Senecio vulgaris, which is classified as a ragwort and is in the ester family. Or Barbera vulgaris, also called yellow rocket by the layman, which is not even part of the ester family at all, but the watercresses. And finally, mustard, which is called Brassica, which is part of the Brassicaceae family, and the mustard family, Brassicaceae. The members of this genus are informally known as Cruciferous vegetapale, cabbages, or the vulgar mustard plants. It's up to you to decide to keep the Pachera glabella or if to remove it from your garden. Although it is native and it is quite magnificent, it doesn't quite fit well into my beautiful landscape. So I will extract it. Tools are one of the most important parts of any job. You wouldn't drive a screw into lumber with a hammer, would you? No. So let's talk tools. Here, I have a big shovel. And here in this hand, I have a little shovel. The little shovel is good for digging little holes, and the big shovel is good for digging big holes. The big shovel is good for digging holes for things like shrubs or trees. So some folks confuse the plant for a mustard plant. But here are a few ways you can identify butterweed. The telltale signs you have butterweed is that it has more than 4 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this one has 1, 2, looks kind of like 1, but maybe it's 2, so maybe 10. And it stands tall, sometimes up to 3 feet, and the leaves mimic those of watercress. Now, butterweed got its name back in the day when little prairie folk figured out that butter could be made by harvesting the little yellow flowers that pop up in the spring. Now, these plants are native to Indiana, but they're also included invasive. I'm often asked, OMG, is this a weed or a flower?
He's never been asked about butterweed.
It's basically the most common question I field each year. It's up to you to decide to keep the Pachera glabella or to remove it from your garden. Although it is native and it is quite magnificent, it doesn't quite fit my well-kept, beautiful landscape or go well with my unattended red bushes. So I'm going to extract this plant today. A plant extraction, if you will. So these are favorites of pollinators, like bees. The bees really like it. They be like, I love it.
Whoa! Oh my god, that's a night crawler. No, it's a night crawler. Huge. Put it back! Nope, kill it.
Now to the extraction. If you're a sucker for success like me, you want to be extra careful when performing the redaction. Fuck! I like to be absolutely
don't have to do
cautious,
that.
extra cautious, not to let the little progeny fall off the little heads of the flower. Now, this plant, if ingested, is poisonous, which now that I think about it, I don't know why the little prairie people would like to make butter from it. But nonetheless, don't eat it and don't feed it to your children or dogs. Now, if manual labor is your thing, you could pull this out yourself with a big shovel or even a small shovel. But seeing how I'm quite thirsty, it's pretty hot out here, and I could have some nice cold iced tea, I think I'll go sit inside and have my helper do the hard work.
This is a tool. This is Butterweed. You could just take it out.
Hey, where's the tea? Thirsty. And just like that, it's gone. So that's it for this episode of Gardening with Richard. Until next time, and happy gardening.